I'm in Euston bus stop waiting for bus 18. So behind the bus stop there's train station, Euston train station. And now I'm on the bus. So this bus 18 goes all the way to Sudbury and Harrow Road station via Euston Square, University College Hospital, Regent's Park, Baker Street, Edgware Road, Kensal Green Cemetery and Kensal Green Station, Willesden Green, and Wembley Central Station, and then Harrow, Sudbury and Harrow Road Station. Okay, this area, the whole Euston area, is littered with hotels. Here in the traffic light, if you go towards left, probably in 5 minutes you would get to King's Cross, to St. Pancras tube station or train station. And there is a British Library as well, which is a huge library. I think it has a lot of business, it has a lot of business related information and books. So King's Cross is probably about 5 minutes walking distance from here. And here on the left, I think it's a church, but I'm not sure. It is about 11 a.m. in the morning, August 2025. And you can see there is a lot of traffic on the road. On the right hand side, that's Euston train station. Okay, so this building on the left, this is Friend's house. I think it has the head office of Quakers, that religious Christian group. Quakers, yeah, and I think that on the banner it had a website as well, quakers.org. So this road is called Euston Road. I don't know its boundaries, on the boundaries of Euston Road, because further down it starts from somewhere Marylebone Road. On this road there are many train stations. So if you go, towards back, there's about, in 5 minutes here you can get to King's Cross Station, St. Pancras, and here we have a Euston Station. Further down there is a Euston Square, and then I think this is Gordon Street, and then Warren Street, then Regent's Park tube station, and then we have a Baker Street tube station. So on this road, if you walk from King's Cross to all the way to Baker Street tube station, probably it's about half an hour walk, I think. Here on the left hand side, most of the area is taken or owned by or occupied by University College London. And there's a Birkbeck University and Sudbury University over there as well. So there's a UCL hospital. You see this building on the right, the glass building. It was built probably in the past 10-15 years. This is UCL hospital on the left. This is one of its entrance. But on the back side, on the other side of on the back side of this building, UCL hospital, it has another couple of other UCL branches as well, the hospital branches. So it has Macmillan Cancer Center as well on the back side. It's quite a huge hospital, and over on the back side there is UCL campus as well. UCL is quite a huge university, and there are some nice beautiful parks, which is a great place to take in a bit of nature. Great place for students to relax. Here on the left we have one of the tube station. It's Warren Street Station. Here on the right you see these tents. These are tents of homeless people. Most of them here on this side, they are Eastern European gypsies. And on the back side of UCL hospital, they're mainly British homeless people. There's a lot of homelessness in London, yeah. If you go to Charing Cross Tube Station, Oxford Street, all over, yeah, there are many, many homeless people. You would see these kind of tents. You see these buildings on the right? They're all built in the past 10-15 years, and you can see some construction on the left. You can see the contrast of old buildings and the modern, newer buildings. And there's another tube station, as I said earlier. Is Great Portland Street Station. So between this station and the station Euston Square, less than 5 minutes walk, I think. I'm not sure what is that building on the right. The historical, nice looking, probably a church. Okay, so this Euston Road, it was opened in 1756, a long time ago. And Euston Station was opened in 1837. So on the right hand side, behind these buildings, if you walk probably 20 minutes, 30 minutes walk, there is Camden town. So before 18th century, Euston was a farmland, and Camden town was a village. It was a village retreat for Londoners. After World War II, Greek, Cypriots, and Asian community, they moved to Euston area. And we are now approaching Regent's Park Tube Station on the left. Okay, so this is Regent's Park Station. On the right hand side, you see this greenery on the right hand side. That's Regent's Park. It's quite a huge park. It has one of their entrances somewhere here. It's a huge park here. If you go from one side to another side, it would take you probably 40 minutes walk. And you can see there is some roadworks on the left. Normally this road, this Marylebone Road, Euston Road, is very, very busy during weekdays. It is busy today, but it's not that busy. But on weekdays, it's a nightmare to drive. To be honest, all over London, it's a nightmare to drive during the daytime. I think further down on the left, there is Harley Street. Yeah, I think this is Harley Street, and there's some roadworks. Harley Street is quite popular for its expensive doctors and private doctors. And here on the right, we have some nice looking buildings. I'm pretty sure this is residential areas. Back in my student days, I remember I had a friend, an Italian friend. He used to live in one of those buildings on the right. Marylebone Road. Okay, so this is Marylebone Road. Somewhere at the back, it was Euston Road. So I don't know where the boundary is between Euston Road and Marylebone Road. But it's the same road, straight. Okay, so this is it's a church here. And at the back of the church, they have like some, on Saturday or Sundays, they have farmers markets. I'm not sure it is on Saturday or Sunday. It's quite a wealthy area behind the church, which we just passed. This is University of Westminster, or Westminster University. On the right, this is Madame Tussauds. Okay, Madame Tussauds is one of the tourist hotspots. It was a wax museum founded in 1835 by a French lady called Marie. It displays wax figures of famous and historical figures, and also it has statues of famous actors. So here we are in Baker Street Tube Station, which is on the right. On the right, that is the Baker Street Tube Station. Here on the left, okay, here on the right we have Baker Street Tube Station. Here on the left, if you walk probably for about 20 minutes, you would get to Oxford Street. And here in the traffic lights on the right, there is Marylebone, Marylebone train station. And this is Marylebone Town Hall on the left. And this building on the left, this is part of London Business Schools. London Business School. On the right, you see this nice looking, iconic, beautiful building. This is the Landmark Hotel. It's right, one of their entrance is right in front of Marylebone Station. And this is Weston or Eye Hospital. I don't know what's the name of that hospital. But yeah, Landmark Hotel, it served as a recovery place for military treatment during the Second World War. So many injured soldiers, they came to this place. It opened as a hotel back in 1993, but in Victorian times, it was originally one of the London's railway hotels. I think it was called the Hotel Great Central. And a few years ago, some years ago, I don't know, about 10, 15 years ago, one of the Saudi prince murdered his butler, I think, his private butler. But I think, in a few days' time, then he was back in his home country, which kind of shows, if you're rich, you can get away with anything, with everything. The road on the left, that's Marylebone. That's Edgware Road. Is the Arab quarters. You would find many Arabic cafes and restaurants, Lebanese restaurants on Edgware Road. You see these buildings on the right? Yeah, it is still under construction. This part of London and Edgware Road, there's a lot of regeneration going on, a lot of construction going on. And you can see this building is under construction. You can see the crane. Probably in the next 10 years, I think the whole area would be unrecognizable. And there's a group of cyclists. I think it's a newly built building as well, Premier Inn. You see these all new modern buildings on the left. All of them were built in the past 10, 15 years. So on the right, this is, I think this is Marylebone Flyover. It was built in 1960s and it was opened to traffic in 1970. At the time, it was the largest elevated structure in Europe at the time. I think on the left, somewhere behind these buildings, there is Euston train station. And this is the flyover. And that's the canal. You see this flyover has, I think, 2 levels. One is round, this is the first, and above that's the second. Apparently, it was the largest continuous elevated structure in Europe back in 1970 when it was opened. I think we are approaching Harrow Road. So back in old days, Bayswater and Edgware roads were kind of Roman roads, and Harrow Road was a Celtic track. Okay, I think this is now the start of Harrow Road, if I'm not mistaken. or maybe Harrow Road starts after these traffic lights. Okay, this is Harrow Road now. And this building on the left is Westminster Academy. It's a school. I think it's one of the good schools in London Borough of Westminster. And these apartment blocks you see on the right, these are apartment buildings. And they are newly built. These apartment blocks on the right, they are newly built, probably in the past 15 years there. Chicken Valley. Okay, this Harrow Road area is quite a mixed area. You would find people from Arabic backgrounds like Moroccans, North Africans. There is a Jamaican community, Bangladeshi people, you would find. So it's quite a mixed area. On the right side, behind these buildings on the right, those areas are quite wealthy areas like Maida Vale. Those are quite posh and wealthy areas, and cleaner and more prettier areas. You can see the shop on the right is new quality something here. So there's this area is heavily concentrated with Middle Eastern people from Middle Eastern background and North African. Okay, so this is Westminster Registration Office stop. Okay, just behind, one of those buildings, the red ones. It was, it is Westminster Registration Office. And Notting Hill Gate is not far away from here either. Okay, when you see Paddy Power, this is one of those gambling places. If you see Paddy Power, it is a sign of that the area is not wealthy. It's a sign of it's a deprived area. And you can see there is a Lebanese. It's a Lebanese restaurant here. So when you see on the right, you see Savers, and there's a luxury Pound Plus. I mean, when you see Savers or Pound Plus shops, there's a sign of the area is not a wealthy area. And our bus stop in the middle of road. Okay, this car in front is blocking our bus. Okay, we have a minicab taxi here. And I think he was waiting for this elderly passenger. He's picking his passenger up in the middle of road. So earlier I was saying when you see Savers or Pound shops or Paddy Power or Iceland, it's a sign of the area is not a wealthy area. And you can see Middle Eastern shops on the left. Okay, we are still on Harrow Road. It's quite a mixed area. There's a good Afro-Caribbean community in this part of London. And there is Middle Eastern communities as well. Okay, you can see there's some more roadworks on the left. And there's a library on the right, a public library. And there are some construction sites on the left. And you see that crane in front? As you must have seen in my other videos, there's a lot of construction regeneration going on in different parts of London. And it's been going on for the past 15 years, especially after the Olympics, after London Olympics in 2012. I think during 2012, London attracted a lot of investments. And I heard A lot of investment came from Qatar and from Kuwait, the Gulf countries, oil-rich Gulf countries. Okay, this is the boundary of Westminster. It says, thank you for visiting Westminster. You know, these, I don't know how they put these cranes on top of these buildings. You see some more construction on the right. Okay, on the left we have this Kensal Green Cemetery. This on the left. It was opened in 1833. It is one of the magnificent 7 cemeteries in London. When you go inside, it has that kind of Gothic looks, Gothic character. In the early 1850s, there was a series of epidemics in London, and due to that epidemic, it was proposed to close all the burial grounds. But this was open because I think it was privately owned. That's why. And some prince and princess from royal family, they are buried here as well. Okay, on the right we have looks like a park, but I'm not sure. Yeah, it looks like a park, or maybe I'm mistaken, I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, it's a park. St. Mary Cemetery. Okay, one was Kensal Green Cemetery and another one is St. Mary's Cemetery. Okay, St. Mary's Cemetery was founded in 1858 and is the resting place for over 165,000 Roman Catholics. Okay, Brazilian Steakhouse. Looks like there's a Brazilian community in this part of London. Okay, yeah. I see some South American names on those shops, which is kind of indication, you know, like, yeah, there's probably a good South American community in this part of London. Normally you would find a lot of Brazilian community and other South American communities around South London. See, that's Brazilian flag on the left. In Stockwell near Victoria, and that's a Iranian restaurant, I guess. On this narrow road you would find lorries, buses and parked cars on the left. So you see, that's Brazilian flag. Luigi Cafe. Looks like there are quite a few Brazilian cafes and restaurants. Oh, so yeah, I was saying that there are Brazilian community and other South American communities. You would find a lot of them in Stockwell, which is not far away from American Embassy and Victoria. And you would find many South Americans and South American communities in around Elephant Castle area. And there is a Palestinian flag in support of Palestine against the atrocities. I think we're going to get off in this bus stop. Okay, I got off on that bus stop because there were too many number 18 buses, and in order to regulate the bus system, all the passengers were taken off the bus and we got on another bus. That's, you see that arc looking shape, that's Wembley Stadium. We are not far away from Wembley station. You can see it's a residential area. There are houses on either side of the road, and we have a 3-lane road, which is quite rare. Normally all around London There are just two lanes, one on one side and the other lane is used normally from the opposite direction. You see another president flag. And there's a lot of traffic. Normally when you go to those areas which are populated by different ethnics, they're always busy. There's always people on the road and the roads are busy. There's a lot of traffic normally. Okay, this is Wembley. We are not far away from Wembley station, and you can see that there's a lot of construction in this part of London as well. You see this building on the left, probably built in the past 5 years, and you see crane over there, and you can see the contrast of old housing buildings and the modern ones. On the left you can see all of them are new building, and some of them are still under construction, like this one on the left. There's a lot of construction going on in different parts of London. If you go to East London, West London, everywhere, South London, there's a lot of construction around Elephant and Castle area. So, okay, Wembley Station is not far away from here, and Wembley Stadium is not far away from here. Wembley Stadium is home to England national football team. You see, this place is full of people. People are out and about. Dairy food. Okay, so Wembley Park area, there is a strong South Asian community, mainly in people from India. I would say over 70%, around 70% of the population is mainly Indian, and I think the vast majority of them are Gujarati Indian. Okay, so Wembley Station is not far away from here. Wembley Station was opened in 1845. Initially it was called Sudbury Station for around 100 years, but then later in 1948 it was renamed as Wembley Central. And apparently in 1547 there were only 6 houses in Wembley, and it was small but one of the wealthiest part of Harrow. But now look at it, it's full of people. There are people everywhere, and there are shops on either side of the road, and you would also find a good Somalian population in this part of London as well. So there's a lot of people from Indian background, Somalis as well, and you can see a long line of vehicles on the road because it's two-lane road now. Earlier it was 3-lane, now it's 2-lane. Yeah, you can't do much in 2 lanes. People are out here for shopping and everything. And there's another Poundland. Okay, it's a pound shop. Another sign, is it's not a wealthy area. But to be honest, everywhere in London nowadays, apartment flats, like an apartment, a 2-bedroom flat, it would cost you more than 300,000, 400,000 pounds. I shouldn't say is deprived, because property is very expensive and it can only be afforded by people who have some money. You see names on the shops from Indian backgrounds. But one good thing about living in the areas where there are a lot of Indians and Pakistanis and other ethnicities, that you find cheap food and delicious good food. That's what Gujja Dhaba Express, you find quality things for cheaper price. The only problem you would find, the property becomes really, really expensive. And what is that tourist bus doing here? Because it's not a tourist spot. Okay, we are heading towards Sudbury. Sudbury. You can see there are a lot of people from Indian backgrounds and Afro-Caribbean backgrounds are here in this spot. Okay, that looks like a cemetery on the right. St. John's something. Okay, so Sudbury, most parts of Sudbury was once owned by Bonham family, and in 1800s they supplied about 30,000 gallons of milk by train into London every night. They even supplied milk to Queen Victoria, and that could be around 1880s perhaps. We are not far away from our last stop. And I prefer West London over East London because in West London you have a lot more greenery. There's a lot of greenery, yeah. And on the left, what do we have here? On the left, looks like, okay, Royal Mail, probably Royal Mail Depot. On the right, you see there's a huge park. As I said earlier, like West London has a lot more greener spaces than East London. I mean, according to my observation. I could be wrong, but I prefer generally West London over East London. And these on there, okay, we are approaching Sudbury and Harrow. And I think, like West London has more wider spaces as well, alongside green spaces. That looks like a one big roundabout. We are approaching our last stop, and there's some more construction on the left. And I'm gonna get off in a few seconds in our last stop. And here it is.